actually, did you guys know that there's a crisis with fentanyl in the United States? Or do you guys even know what do you know what fentanyl is?
I've heard of it.
You've heard of it. Travis, do you know about it?
Yeah, I know there's an epidemic or going on with people addicted to, I guess like pills basically, and then they have the fentanyl in the pills.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, and I'm going to talk about a little bit more detail, but think of fentanyl as like a pain medicine. Okay. So like fentanyl, actually, like the original use of it, we use it in surgery literally all the time. We use it to make patients that are under anesthesia and having surgery have their pain controlled. It's an amazing painkiller. It's usually given IV. And so like when this all started like 6 or 8 years ago and I heard about like this fentanyl problem, I was a little confused, honestly, because I was thinking of like the fentanyl that we have in surgery, which is like an IV medication.
I keep thinking fentanyl.
Yeah,
is that
fentanyl.
the same thing?
Yeah, fentanyl. I don't know.
Okay.
Potato. How do you say it?
Fentanyl?
Yeah, I pronounce it fentanyl too. But I mean,
you're
the doctor.
Yeah, it's fentanyl.
You're the
it's
doctor.
not null, it's nil, fentanyl.
Yeah. I'm like,
fentanyl.
Is that the same thing?
I don't know. You might be thinking of something different. I'm not sure.
No, so it is. It's the same thing. It's just
Fentanyl.
we've been pronouncing it wrong in the public, and the doctors pronounce it a different way.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess maybe I don't think I've been pronouncing it. It's fentanyl, right?
Well, no. So when I say we, I mean like the public has been pronouncing
public.
it wrong, and
Us-
then
us
doctors.
civilians.
Yeah,
Us
civilians have been
yes,
pronouncing it wrong.
civilians.
Doctors pronounce it correctly.
So anyway, I do want to roll the story. I don't know if you guys saw this because it's kind of a little bit, frightening. I mean, not like a scary, but like I don't know. Just roll the clip, roll the video, roll.
You get a warrant?
47. She's ODing. Narcan.
After Officer Bannock got 2 doses of Narcan, the life-saving drug that reverses the effects of opioid overdoses, she lost consciousness again.
Hey. Breathe. Come on, breathe. Hit her again. Rodney, she's not breathing. Hit her again.
Is she out again?
Yes.
47 by county. 3 doses of Narcan.
Can they hurry?
Have you in that exercise, please?
Come on, Mark. There you go. I'm about tired of shooting shit in your nose, girl. You gotta get up.
Pretty crazy stuff, right?
Yeah. Why was she how did she get exposed
So the
to
story
that?
is that she pulled over a vehicle, and per the reports, there was loose fentanyl on something that she came into contact
It's
with.
like a powder?
Yeah, supposedly. Yeah, supposedly a powder. And it wasn't sure if it was like fentanyl or one of the derivatives. And I'm going to go over that kind of in a bit, like what that means. But I mean, it's pretty crazy that, that lady or that officer, just from an exposure like that is, more or less incapacitated.
Yeah.
You
Literally almost died.
Yeah. I mean, they were giving her Narcan, which is a reversal agent, and I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. But I just want to talk about some of like the information about this, because I mean, to be totally honest, like until I started doing the research for this, I didn't kind of realize how bad it was. Although I will say, like, I have an acquaintance of ours that we knew in our town that died of a fentanyl overdose earlier this year. And so that's another reason why when I saw this, I was like, okay, maybe we should talk about this. I mean, it wasn't like a friend of mine, but it was like an acquaintance, somebody that, did some work for us. And like, we called him up one day and his family's like, yeah, he died of a fentanyl overdose. And we're like, whoa, that's just crazy. Because it wasn't something expected, right? Like, it wasn't somebody, you necessarily would have thought.
Yeah. Is this like a pill form, or is it like
Yeah,
you
so
can make it into other things like?
So it mostly comes in pill forms or powders. I mean, there's a lot of ways that you can ingest it.
Did they
And so-
like put it in like other drugs too?
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that. Yeah, that's really good. So so I started doing
Yikes.
research about this, and it's actually a really big problem. And throw up that first graph if you would. So this is just a graph showing the annual drug overdose deaths of just all drugs, okay? And you can see that in the past, like 10 years, we've seen a steady increase in that. And, now in this day and age, 2022, that number is up to about 110,000, because I think the last year there was 2020. So 110,000 deaths, and of that, about 75,000 of those are either fentanyl or one of its derivatives. Like, I mean, that's a huge, huge number.
That's crazy.
I mean, in fact, there's more deaths from fentanyl in the United States than there are from gunshots and car crashes combined.
I wonder if it's like it increased because of just the increase of communication capabilities. Like they can just send like a text to some random person and be like,
I mean, it certainly makes it easier.
Transportation.
Without question, that does play. Like, I mean, technology makes everything easier.
Yeah, 'cause
as
now
well
it's
as,
like
illicit activities.
Yeah. I feel like
So-
that's crazy.
In the past 8 years, we've really seen a huge spike in fentanyl. Throw up that next chart, would you, Travis? So that line, so this is deaths, and each one of those is a different drug. The line that's going crazy, that's fentanyl. So you see in like 2015, it was like really kind of low and at the bottom, and then all of a sudden it started spiking up.
Yeah.
It's actually rising, obviously much faster than anything else, but what we're seeing is that other drugs are actually going down. So flip over to the next one, which is prescription drug overdose, or prescription drug overdoses. So you see like in the 2000s, like the amount of people dying from prescription drugs, so that'd be like, you know, oxycodone or MS-Contin or those kind of things was steadily rising. But then what happened is we realized that there was like an opioid crisis from prescription drugs and a lot more restrictions came on. And you see that around 2011, that percentage started to go back down. But what happened is as fentanyl came onto the market, then that yellow line, which is fentanyl plus opioid or prescription drugs, started to go up. And the last one is actually heroin. Can you throw that one up? So this is overdose deaths involving heroin. So it's interesting, the blue line is actually heroin deaths, and you see it's going up, 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 and then all of a sudden it starts to go down right about the time that fentanyl comes out. And the yellow line is combination fentanyl and heroin. But it's interesting that this has become such a problem that other causes of death, which were on the rise, suddenly bottomed out because suddenly everyone was dying from fentanyl. So in the last year, so in 2021, the Drug Enforcement Agency seized 15,000 pounds of fentanyl in the U.S. with a street value of 136 billion with a B dollars.
Where was that?
Huh?
Where was that?
All over. That's a collection of all of the DEA seizure. 15,000 pounds. So what is that? 7.5 tons. So I actually have one question for you guys. So, all right. So how many people could 15,000 pounds of fentanyl kill? Could it kill the DFW Metroplex of 7 million, Texas 30 million, the USA 330 million, or half the world with 3.5 billion? All right, who wants to go first?
Ooh, okay, I'll go first.
All right, Travis, what do you think?
So I will say B.
All right, could kill 30 million. How much could 15,000 pounds of fentanyl kill, Sarah?
C.
330 million. Okay, the answer is actually 3.5 billion.
Ah, dang.
And
You know, that's what I was thinking that because the cop, she just got
Like
a
the-
random exposure.
yes.
It wasn't just like she went in somebody's car and was like, that's a powder, I'm gonna snort it.
Yeah.
She probably just was
Right.
like
Well, and-
rummaging around trying to find something that
Yeah.
she needed to find.
So
and it
there's
just
like
got
a
in her
lot of like
face.
debate on like what happened to her because like, you know, you saw that picture of the pills that I threw up like in the bags. Like, I mean, if you like hold one of those pills in your hand, like you're gonna be okay. I mean, you know, what happened to her is a little bit unusual. And if I had to speculate, and of course I'm not there, it hasn't been said what exactly happened, but I would guess that it was in a powder form and somehow it got on her mucous
She like
membranes.
touched her
Yeah.
face, her eyes,
Right.
something.
Yes, that probably is what happened because the absorption through your mucous membranes, like so your mouth or your nose, is 30 times higher than it is through your skin.
Yeah.
You can absorb that stuff through your skin. In fact, they make fentanyl patches for medical use. So it can be absorbed through the skin, but it's pretty slow.
Yeah.
But the other thing that could have happened is there are some derivatives of fentanyl that are extremely more potent than even fentanyl. And so the purpose of the question was to kind of show you that the lethal dose of fentanyl is very tiny. It's 2 milligrams. So like 15,000 pounds could literally kill like, you know, billions and billions of people.